The Day Before is one of Steam's most wishlisted games, and it's currently sitting in at number 2 behind Hogwarts Legacy. Now, friends sent me the first trailer when it dropped all the way back in January 2021, and I immediately texted them back and said, this isn't real. If there's one lesson I learned from Watch Dogs, it was that if a debut trailer looks too good to be true, it's manufactured as a target, a way to get people excited for what a game could look like, not what it will actually look like. Now, I stopped following the game until about a week ago when YouTube recommended this NVIDIA RTX trailer, and that was kind of right because this game doesn't look like the game they showed us 2 years ago. And I quickly found out that The Day Before has formed this sort of legend, this conspiracy that the game is fake. And I wasn't the only one who felt like something was a bit off. So let's dig deep and answer the question, is The Day Before a scam? Now let's look at red flag number 1, which is the resume. The Day Before is being made by 2 Russian-founded companies, developer Fantastic and publisher Mytona, which published hits such as Cooking Diary and Outfire Battle Royale shooter, whose menus look kind of familiar. Just can't put my finger on what billion-dollar battle royale this looks exactly like, which is even funnier when you get into the actual game, which looks like this. Now, Fantastic's resume isn't extensive either. They released an early access game called The Wild 8, whose rights they sold to the publisher shortly after launch. Then a year later dropped Dead Dozen, which peaked at 81 players and then was quickly abandoned by Fantastic just a few months after launch. Then they followed that up with a short mobile experience called Radiant One. Their biggest release with Mytona was an asymmetrical multiplayer game called Prop Night, which currently has mixed Steam reviews and about 1,000 players per day. It was released November 2021, 10 months after The Day Before was announced. So developers going from games that look like this and this to this huge open world MMA shooter that's supposed to look like this should already have your radar going off. Now, red flag number 2 is lack of information. Outside of the released trailers, there isn't much concrete info regarding this game. The website is completely empty, and the official Discord isn't much help either. The information channel there only has 2 updates, one copy and pasted from a March 2021 interview with Gaming Bolt, and the other appears to be a moderator making educated guesses rather than being given official information. For example, when asked about main and side quests, they respond, quote, "As you can see on the picture that has been shared with the trader and weapons behind them, there are questions that you can choose. Where did you work before? Are there any other survivor camps? This could be an indication of possible main and side quests, and there most likely will be." So it feels like it's just a mod sifting through public information like this photo posted on Twitter to try and come up with an answer. Now, their last update was this post that just says, will be updated soon. So the bulk of details surrounding this game lies in 2 website interviews from all the way back in March 2021 and trailers released on Fanatics' YouTube channel. Outside of teasers, there have only been 6 videos showcasing gameplay. Fans have noted that they are heavily scripted, but that's not out of the norm in our industry. What is out of the norm, though, is a lack of a deep dive showcasing raw gameplay for what looks to be a pretty ambitious title, and downgraded graphics are being brought up after their latest gameplay trailer. And I will say it is noticeable compared to a gameplay revealed over a year ago. Now, alongside that RTX on trailer released through NVIDIA was this video, which is red flag number 3, life at Fantastic. After teasing a huge update on their social media, Fantastic uploaded their latest January 2023 update, which you would easily mistake for a travel vlog that barely even spoke about the game. It began with this footage in a Singapore airport that is actually 7 months old, but we got to see a few things such as the co-founder's sweaty back, employees dancing and singing karaoke, a legitimate, and I'm not kidding, ad placement smack dab in the middle for an IBM ThinkPad. We also got to see the team at work, and in case you didn't know that she was working, there's this watermark up here that says "Caution Women at Work." There's also this very real footage of a coder frantically typing away at his keyboard, showing off that some of the game's code is apparently built in the Matrix. Now, my personal favorite moment was his shot of lead balance designer Mikhail, who says that they read all comments, including the negative ones, and then this happens. And then there was this moment where, for some reason, we find out a team member is being evicted from his home. They even went as far as to stage a phone call where he explains that he's being kicked out 2 days before Christmas, right before this edit.
2 дня до Рождества.
It's like they manufactured it to try and make fans take pity. Like, don't you see? We can't show you more of this game because our team is getting homeless. Meanwhile, GSC, the team behind Stalker 2, gave us this new footage about a few weeks back, and they're developing this game in the middle of a fucking war. Now, fans were pretty upset, and they should be. The game is set to release in under 2 months. And what they got was a 5-minute video diary with 20 seconds of footage that honestly doesn't look really good. They got to see a bit of the character creator, weapon customization, and its gunsmith who looks like Walter from The Big Lebowski rocking Ellie's tattoo. There was also this shot of the co-founder running the game on his laptop, which is pretty cool to see, except we notice he isn't touching the keyboard and the footage is just a video stream. And that was another fascinating twist to this video. Throughout it, they keep mentioning this conferencing app called Continent. And I mean, it's throughout the entire video, including this focus shot. And fans quickly found out that Fantastic owns the Continent app. So this entire video, which began as a must-see update, turned out to be nothing more than a commercial for a video chat app. What the actual Now, there's also footage of some employees, but they go by another name, and it's actually red flag number 4, volunteers. In June 2022, Kotaku published this story titled MMO Studio Wants Unpaid Volunteers to Make Steam's Most Wishlisted Game. And yes, you read that right. They want people to volunteer their time to help develop this game, and in return, you get rewards, participation certificates, and free codes, which I'm sure your landlord will gladly accept when that rent is due. Now, Fantastic believes volunteering is a philosophy of life, and on their site, they say if you help a stranger carry heavy boxes into their house willingly, you'll enjoy it. If you carry those heavy boxes unwillingly, every moment will be like torture. What does that even mean? It doesn't make any sense. Then this part here claims there are 2 types of volunteers for Fantastic: full-time team members, employees, and external volunteers. They're just employees. Just employees. There's no such thing as a paid full-time volunteer. It doesn't exist. Now, Fantastic claims volunteers aren't deep in the trenches, but rather work in other departments such as marketing, moderation, and localization. But it's just hard to take this company at their word, and this still doesn't excuse its expectation for people to work without being paid. So we've got an inexperienced developer who relies on volunteers pitching us a AAA open world MMO shooter that for some reason they're afraid to show us outside of a few heavily scripted moments. Not sure I'd be first in line to buy this. Now, to answer the question, is the day before a scam? I'm leaning towards a maybe, but let me elaborate. Is there a game here? Yes. Some people online are calling it a fake game, but if you look at Prop Night, it's not half bad. It looks like a bit of fun, even if it's a bit wonky. So there is proof that this team can ship an online experience, and I think that's what will happen with the day before. They will release a game. I just don't think it's going to be the game fans were advertised. This game is being sold like What If State of Decay, The Division, Rust, and The Last of Us had a baby, but there's just no way I can see this game reaching that ambition and, more importantly, actually running well at launch. All the gameplay that they've shown feels like a bunch of fully built out vertical slices, but it just looks like too much for such a small team. It's selling us an open world filled with backroads, farmhouses, the suburbs, this pretty detailed version of New York City with various indoor sections, complete with this massive indoor mall to explore. That's a lot. And I think the game will launch at some point this year. And I say that because it doesn't look like they're ready to hit that March 1st date, but I think it will be a scaled back version of what they've shown. For example, they've previously mentioned dynamic weather, including snowstorms, full day and night cycles, and customizable home bases, but I kind of wouldn't bank on some or all of these being there at launch. And I think that city is going to be much smaller than it seems. Actually, if you pay attention to this January 2022 trailer, there are a few shots in the city, but if you pay close attention to landmarks, they all actually exist within a 2-block radius. And the latest trailer only showed us one corner of that city. I think there will be a few indoor areas to explore, but way less than the game makes it seem. And there will be PvP, but the game will severely lack in narrative structure and missions. But above all, I think this game is going to be a disaster when it launches, and those servers are definitely catching fire. Based upon their history, I could see this game launching broken and missing features, in which Fnatic will apologize and claim they're working on a fix. And while history says they'll abandon it if they attain an audience, there wouldn't be much of a reason to shut down a game they've been working on for 4 entire years. And look, I hope I'm wrong. This game seems awesome, but only if they can deliver on everything they've promised, or at the very least, this game be a serviceable Rust alternative. I honestly think fans would be happy with Skeleton as long as it runs well. I just can't imagine a world where a team that has the second most wishlisted game in Steam would not want to show it off less than 2 months before its release. So fans have every right to feel skeptical. And please, do not pre-order or purchase this game at launch. Be patient. No matter how excited you may be, there will be someone else willing to pay and test it. Do not risk being the dummy who bought it first. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about this. Are you going to get it? Does it look suspicious? Do you think it's fake? Let us know. If you liked it, like it. If you loved it, please subscribe and listen to the Camp Koji podcast every Monday. Thank you for watching.